DC's Nubia is a strange case. She debuted in the 70s, but has barely been utilized since. Her backstory has also seen several retcons. She's been everything from Wonder Woman's twin, made from a dark batch of clay, to a reincarnated soul of an Earth woman reborn on Themyscira from the Well of Souls. And I'm not counting the version from Nubia Real One. That was a standalone graphic novel, as well as Cancer. Anyway, with all the talk of representation being thrown around these days, it was inevitable that she'd eventually get her own title. And on one hand, I'm happy to see a potentially great character get some much needed attention and development. But on the other hand, it is current year. And you know what that means? Page after page of pointless dialogue, lackluster fight scenes, plot threads that don't matter to anyone at all, not even the writers, and having a supporting cast that only exists to big up the main character. This is a superhero comic that takes place in an epic fantasy setting. Why are we wasting all this time on... You know what? I'm wasting time right now, because we really just need to dive in. So let's go ahead and jump right into issue 4. I've already covered everything that happened in issues 1 through 3 in my previous video on Nubia and the Amazons, so if you really feel like you need to get caught up, check that out. But honestly, you didn't miss anything if you didn't read those issues. It's just talking. Oh yeah, Medusa's in the background. More talking about how Nubia's awesome, the Amazons are awesome. Oh yeah, people keep having visions of Themyscira being burned to the ground and everything going crazy. Flashback to some of the women's lives on Earth. Come back, some half-assed fight scene, and a bunch of people just talking around and just talking about how wonderful the Themyscira is and how awesome Nubia is, and everyone's wonderful and everyone's beautiful and everyone wants to have sex with each other because lesbians. So with all that being said, let's dive into Nubia and the Amazons issue 4. I'm Animaine, this is Cringe Comic Reads. What in the holy menstruation am I doing here? When we last left Nubia, she had just finished fighting Andromeda, one of the Amazons who were recently reincarnated on Themyscira. Andromeda had been possessed by the spirit of Medusa, who had been hopping around from body to body, kind of in the background for the past few issues. And during the fight, we actually learned something that might kind of sort of be interesting, at least if it weren't this book that it was in. Turns out that Andromeda knew Nubia back when Andromeda was living on Earth in her original body. And when Andromeda regains control of her body temporarily, she blames Nubia for being why she's here. So something happened back in Man's world involving Nubia leaving Andromeda, which apparently led to her death. Now at this time, Nubia was a champion who was guarding Doom's doorway, something that kept monsters like Medusa locked away. But anyway, that's kinda juicy. I mean, that actually could be pretty interesting. Like I said, if it weren't for the fact that it's in this title and written by these people. Anyway, Medusa takes control of Andromeda again, makes the getaway, and then Nubia is alerted that Medusa has escaped Doom's doorway. So that little action and drama-filled scene was a nice reprieve from what this book has been so far. But coming into issue 4, we're right back to normal. Anyway, everyone's talking about, what should they do? How was Medusa able to escape? Whose fault is this? And some of the folks there start leveling responsibility at Nubia. I mean, Nubia is the standing queen, and she was the champion. Philippus, of course, objects to all of this, saying that no, they don't have the right to talk to Nubia like this because she the queen. But everyone doesn't share this sentiment.
You wish to paint me as a heretic for asking hard questions, Philippus, but I simply wish to learn the truth. Our queen allowed the perpetrator to escape before we could see for ourselves what was happening. I would rather not jump to conclusions given such little information. It is not the first time something has escaped Nubia's watch. Why falter now?
This kinda almost sounds interesting, but my problem here is the dialogue. It's so much. Maybe they were trying to go for a more grandiose Shakespearean thing, but I'm sorry, this is a comic book, okay? We are here to see things, and obviously, yes, the dialogue does help move the story along, let us see the characters' thoughts, how they communicate, and good dialogue can elevate a story, definitely, but that is not the case here. The dialogue is so wordy. Oh, and if you don't feel like that was a strong enough example, don't worry, it gets much worse. The debate goes on for a little bit longer before Nubia dismisses everybody.
The lives of many should not be gambled for the life of one, Queen Nubia.
obviously playing on Spock's famous line from Star Trek, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised to see some of her fellow Amazons hold her to task. She's the queen. She shouldn't just be allowed to do anything with zero pushback. But then, of course, we got good old Philippus reminding us that, Nubia's always gonna have at least one stand. I have no idea how to say that. I regret losing myself in the moment, but I could not in good faith allow her to speak to you as though you are the one responsible for all of this.
I know, Philippus, and you have my thanks, even though we both know she just speaks aloud what others are thinking, and she does have a point.
Not bad. I mean, it's almost like you're the queen and you need to be handling this shit. Anyway, enough of Greek C-SPAN. We gotta have a flashback. Chicago. Then. What the fuck is then? How then ago was this? Is this like a couple years ago? Was this last month? Was this in the freaking 50s? Gotta give it to him though. This is some dope ass armor. This is a callback to one of her previous looks. Cool sword, cool armor. How much you want to bet that this is about to get totally wasted? Because now we got to watch as this teacher and these kids are on this field trip. And oops, pal, surprise, there's a manticore. And sweet sugar grits. That is a real line written in a real comic book that really exists. Vita, was this you? Vita. Bubby, you put this line in here, didn't you? Yes, you did. Don't lie. Sweet sugar grits. Brain is made of sugar grits. Nubia engages ye old manticore and gets to hacking. She cuts the stinger part off the tail.
Thank you. You can thank me by clearing the area, beautiful.
Okay, I has confused. Now you would think that Nubia, as a champion of the Amazons, would know better than to pitch woo in the middle of a battle with a manticore. She is not too worried about the life of this woman or the lives of the children or anyone else around to focus on getting that thing subdued over flirting. Like, imagine in any other emergency situation, the policemen show up, the firemen show up, everyone shows up, the ambulance, and they're doing the things, right? And they save you, and you thank them, and they're like, yeah, here's my number. Call me afterwards. Maybe we can get together for a drink. No, that would not be acceptable. That would not be acceptable. Unacceptable! I kind of like this because we're 4 issues in and this is the first time something like this is happening. I don't know why they could have had this happen in issue 1, but whatever. And she suplexes the manticore and it kind of looks like Photoshop, but whatever. Anyway, that was a fun little reprieve. Time for more Greek C-SPAN.
I'll give you two some privacy. That won't be necessary, Bia.
Oh look, Bia's finally here. The Amazon who's reincarnated from a trans woman on Earth. Is she finally gonna be relevant to the plot? Or have more than like one line a page?
Queen, if I may, I want to start by saying how deeply sorry I am that I did not come to you as soon as I could about my vision. I just did not know what to do. I felt like you already had your hands full with the emergence of new Amazons after the Well of Souls opened, and then needing to find a suitable champion for Doom's doorway. I'm rambling. I meant only to help, but managed to make things worse. Please forgive me.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
All of this could have been summarized in one of these word balloons. Hell, if y'all really tried hard, you could probably fit all this in the bottom word balloon, which is the smallest one.
Penelope, while I can appreciate your intent, you should have come to me right away, and I promise we will have a deeper discussion later. However, there is an immediate threat, and it could also be tied to your vision.
Not immediate enough, apparently, because y'all in here doing all the Shakespeare for none of the reasons.
Medusa is not going about things as she has in the past. I've had a few encounters with her during my years guarding the door. She's different, and Bia's vision leads me to believe that handling this as I would have before will only be a temporary solution. We've had enough of those.
All my new writers out there, and I'm also talking to myself as I'm also writing my own comic books, less is more. This is a comic book. Comic book. You need to be concise. You need to be succinct. You need to take all them words and trim the fat. Now that doesn't mean there's never a place for a bit more of a wordy scene, but you got to understand when to hold that back.
Hurt people often hurt others in return.
Stop. Skirt. Pump the brakes. Wait. Honey, Jesus Christ, what is this face? What is this face? Vita. Velveeta, shells and cheese. Did you tell them to draw Bia like this? Seriously, I know that she's the quote-unquote trans Amazon, but that don't mean y'all have to make her look like Shaquille O'Neal. Y'all could have had her be thicker and be a little more stocky and still had her look attractive. She don't even look this bad in all the other panels. The editor should have looked at this and said, take this back, do it again. Why is her lip, I know that this is not specific to Bia, but don't it look like she got a little mustache? One of them little pencil mustaches from like the 1930s or something. Hurt people often hurt others in return. Y'all couldn't have had her say nothing better, nothing more original. You had to reach into the bottom of the barrel and say this trite, overused line that everyone has heard 8,000 times, this hallmark ass line. For what? For what? For why? Anyway, we got to go back to then. Also, judging by the way these folks dress, this has to be the 70s. Old girl from the other scene is getting accosted by Sonny from Sonny and Cher. I don't know who this is. It's a white man. That's the point. She's getting accosted in the alleyway by a straight white man. Ugh. Of course, she gets saved by Nubiers. Honey, you'll have to wait your turn. There's plenty to go around, though.
My name is not Honey. I am Nubia. Know me. Whoa, you're amazing. This is the second time you've saved me today. It's nothing. Where are you headed? Doesn't seem too safe around here. Manticore or man. I'll walk with you. Oh, you don't have to do that. I'm almost home. I'm sure you have somewhere else to be. Maybe another time? You have a keen eye. I like that. You're partially right. I do have somewhere else to be. But I'd feel better making sure you got home safely. Protective, gorgeous, and kind? I like that.
Somebody has to.
Well, this is me. Thank you for walking with me. You're welcome. Don't hold your tongue. I know you have somewhere else to be, but it's still kind of early for me. Thank you doesn't seem proper enough for what you've done for me today. Are you hungry? Famished.
Y'all put Nubia in this fire-ass design with the bomb-ass serrated sword. You had her fight the Manticore in a almost good fight scene, and she knocks out some sleazeball in the alleyway so she can walk this teacher home and flirt with her. I know what some people are gonna say. Animaine, you're being homophobic. You don't want Nubia to be great. You don't want her to have a relationship with a woman. And so you're sexist. You're homophobe. Okay, so let me nip that in the bud right now, okay? As I've said before, I do not currently, nor have I ever been bothered by the inclusion of LGBT people in anything. My favorite fictional couple of all time is a little red woman and a little blue woman. So I don't want to hear boo about you hate the lesbians. What I hate is bad storytelling. We are in issue 4 of 6 of Nubia and the Amazons. Medusa has been possessing Amazons on Themyscira. She just possessed Andromeda and fought Nubia with her, leading to a revelation that Andromeda knew Nubia years ago, this teacher woman here, and some of the Amazons are losing their temper and patience with Nubia because they're like, you supposed to be handling this shit, what's going on? All this is called rising tension, rising stakes. This is what you want. And you're killing that to have some flashback that only involves Nubia badly flirting with a school teacher in what I assume is 1970s Chicago. So then we cut back to the present and Andromeda / Medusa. Andromedusa? I'm gonna call her Andromedusa while they're doing this. So Andromedusa is hiding out in the bushes as the Amazons look for her.
Ah, here we are. Why are you going back to where you escaped? It's where I'm at my strongest. It's where who I am was made.
This is atrocious. Who wrote? Vita, did you do this? Or was it Stephanie? Feel free to snitch. Which one of y'all did this? Which one? I want names. I want to know who's responsible for this turd of a line right here. It's probably whoever's been writing all the rest of the verbal diarrhea in this fucking book.
Vengeance has fueled you for so long. It doesn't appear to have served you well at this time, but it will allow me to cling to the little existence I have now. My victimhood did not grant me access to paradise. It banished me to the depths of nothingness. The only difference between your sisters and I lies in the hands of the same goddesses who blessed you Amazons, but cursed me instead. This conversation is over. Now you can see firsthand what horrors I've been subjected to behind that door. Let me show you the paradise I've come to know.
I'm gonna put Medusa's fucked up backstory on the screen right now. It is genuinely one of the more terrible things that have happened in Greek mythology. And that's saying a lot, because pretty much everything is terrible that happens in Greek mythology. But moving right along, we got to go back to then, because Nubia is a strolling with the teacher.
They probably think you just stepped out of the Johnson Publishing Company building fresh off a Jet Beauty of the Week photo shoot.
Can y'all please, hey guys, can you lay it on that these are black people in Chicago just a little thicker? And why is this random white man staring at them like he's watching a freaking ghost burst out of a freaking grave? Like, why is his face like this? I mean, oh no, because two beautiful black women can't be seen walking together because this is stupid. This page is stupid, this dialogue is stupid, this book is stupid.
Something from your boss at the magical floating island? It's not floating, it just kind of hovers.
Ha.
But yes, it is. I'm needed. Will you come back? I wouldn't want to miss out on saving you for a third time.
I've been shitting on the art in this book a lot, for good reason, but this is actually a well-drawn page. Did somebody else draw this page? I feel like whoever drew this page, particularly Nubia with this face right here, I really feel like they did not draw Nubia or anything else in this book. The hair looks better, the face looks better. Even though this whole scene is melodramatic as all hell, it's still a well-drawn page. Seeing Nubia look like that and then Nubia look like this, I don't... do y'all remember them scenes from Animaine where it was clear that like different art teams did different episodes? I just got that same feeling is what I'm trying to say. That was a very big jump and a very large drop in art quality.
Time will tell soon enough if I have made the right choice, or if I've failed because time away from the door has broadened my scope of things, just widened.
Wait, what? Is this a run-on? This whole thing just feel like one big ass run-on. Oh my god! Vita! Inagata Vita! Velveeta shells and cheese! How? Stephanie Williams, how? How did y'all write this? How did your editor let this get out of the fucking first draft?
I've made my decision. I know. I could tell by your footsteps.
How does someone's footsteps indicate a decision? Did she walk stronger than usual? When you make a decision, are your footsteps heavier? So does she like normally just prance around, but now that she's made a decision, she's stomping like Andre the Giant or something?
I hope you don't mind the placement of the stone.
I mind the placement of myself reading this shitload of fuck.
Io, she's beautiful. She has the reach and the balance.
Okay, not gonna lie, I like this weapon. It's like a whip spear. Sure, it has a proper name, but I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna call it a whip spear. Also, I'm having strange flashbacks to Soul Calibur. And now she has the helmet, she has the whip spear, and she's about to go fight her a Gorgon. So she just leaps down the stairwell, she lands in the superhero pose, and now she got to fight off the harpies.
I have no business with you, but if you insist, I'll gladly take the practice.
And they were screeching, and she gets to fighting and a whacking, kicking and a stabbing and a swinging. And oh look, a Hydra pops up. I feel like I should be way more hyped for this. This whole scene, it's even drawn really good. Like, credit where it's due. This page is actually drawn very well. I like how she's tanking like Hydra fire. She's swinging around. She's using the whip spear. She's shield bashing and everything. And it's already over. One page. Had the potential to be the best fight scene, the best action scene, the best page in this entire series. Nubia versus the Hydra. Over in one page. So she beats a chorus of harpies and the Hydra in 2 pages. There was no struggle here. There was no struggle here at all. Not even the good art could save that scene, because all of it led to nothing. It was just Nubia having a win. It looked good, but it had no substance behind it.
I have to say, Amazon Queen, I am quite surprised you came for her.
I came for you as well, and I have what you most desire. Release Andromeda, and deal with me in your true form.
If a monster is what you want, a monster you will get.
And thus endeth issue 4 of Nubia and the Amazons. There was more going on in this issue than we've gotten so far in this book, but that's not saying a lot. The overuse of so many words. The failed fight scenes that could have been epic. You have Nubia facing off against the Manticore, a chorus of harpies, and a Hydra, all in the same issue, and yet each and every encounter just felt more and more underwhelming. Vita Ayala and Stephanie Williams clearly had no intention of telling an epic story. I feel like all that's coming is gonna be an underwhelming climax. This is Cringe Comic Reads, true, but still, the torture that is this book is one that I need to be compensated for. If y'all can get this video to 70 likes, I will read and cover the next issue. Matter of fact, I'll just wait for both issues to come out and I'll complete the whole series, but only if this video hits 70 likes. They can't even have her flirt good, guys. Like, y'all have to give me something for torturing myself with this shite. But get this video to 70 likes, and in a couple months, when this whole thing is done, I'll do it again. But that is going to be all for me today for Cringe Comic Reads. Thank you all for joining me in my venture into hell. I have emerged, and unlike Nubia, it was not an easy W. I'm Animaine, and I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces.